A flurry of legal challenges is underway in pro-life states that are banning or restricting abortion across the country with so-called trigger laws. That includes all of the highlighted states shown here. On Monday, judges temporarily blocking abortion restrictions in both Utah and Louisiana. Joe Khalil has the latest from the White House. Joe?
Hey, good morning, Adrian. So look, obviously overturning Roe, a seismic shift in American law. And so it's not entirely surprising now that abortion law is going to be different state by state, that you've got all these legal challenges as pro-choice advocates are pushing back against some of these trigger laws. I can tell you a lot of these legal challenges are rooted in the same idea, which is that if the Supreme Court now says the U.S. Constitution does not provide a right to an abortion, some are arguing that many state constitutions still might. For instance, in Utah, a judge has temporarily halted their trigger laws, and the pro-choice attorneys that are moving this lawsuit forward are saying that the Utah state constitution does have a right to privacy that they argue protects abortion rights. So while that case plays out, this law is halted. You've got states like Louisiana with a different situation. Louisiana had probably 2 or 3 different trigger laws that all went into effect as soon as Roe was overturned. So Planned Parenthood's attorneys in Louisiana are saying that's confusing. We don't know which law to follow. So a judge has halted those trigger laws in Louisiana until that can get sorted out. And then you've got states like Idaho and Kentucky. In some cases, their laws that restrict abortion go all the way back even before Roe versus Wade was decided back in the early 70s. So you've got some pro-choice attorneys and advocates there that say, look, if these laws were on the books before Roe, now that Roe is overturned, those should be invalidated. And if you're going to restrict abortion, we need new laws doing that. So, Adrian, a lot of these lawsuits are not expected to be successful, albeit they all look very different. But what they do is sort of delay the inevitable, because in many cases in these states, while these laws are being held up in court, some abortion services are still continuing to be provided. I can tell you a lot of the conservative legal scholars expect that some of these lawsuits may even continue. We could see challenges even years beyond this decision.
Yeah, but it's really important, and we in the media have a responsibility. These are not all bans. A lot of these are restrictions in many cases, and not all and out bans against abortion in these states with these trigger laws. Many pro-choice advocates, they say they want the White House to step in and do something. Is it clear what, if anything, the Biden administration could do to prevent states from enacting abortion restrictions?
We've heard calls from prominent senators for the White House to step in and, for example, in states where there are going to be abortion restrictions, to open up federal lands to do abortion services. I can tell you that's not very likely, and it's actually very likely illegal to do that, because right now federal tax dollars cannot go to provide abortion services. So that isn't really likely to happen. You've also got some calls for the Department of Justice to invalidate any law that says that a woman cannot travel from one state to another to get an abortion. But as far as we know, no state is going to enact a law like that. In fact, Justice Brett Kavanaugh, even in his opinion, said that a law like that would very likely be unconstitutional anyways.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.